Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Naruto Shippuden episode review. This one's going to be for episode 482, Gaara.Shikamaru. Link to description if you haven't seen the episode yet is in... I said it completely wrong. Link to the episode is in the description if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, let's get into the episode, reviewing it. Good episode, I don't think these, double part episodes, focusing on the characters' pasts are going to blow anyone away, but I think they're enjoyable just because they're giving us like a little slice of their lives from when they were young that we haven't quite seen before, a different angle on it, and they seem to be building some kind of through lines between them in that like Naruto has more or less appeared in like everyone's kind of past, basically, apart from Gaara really this one, but yeah. The Gaara one was interesting in that there wasn't a ton of dialogue in it. There was a lot of I'd say about half of the episode was just kind of animation focusing on like faces or kind of like poses and stuff like that. And it made an interesting episode because it really emphasized, I suppose, the kind of dual sides of kind of Gaara's life, the positive relationships he has in that, like, when he's allowed to play with his brother and sister, it's fun for him. His relationship with Yashimaru is really good, but then on the outside you see his father is kind of basically plotting against him, constantly trying to assassinate him, and his father is the one who actually gets in the way of his relationship with his brother and sister. And I liked how they emphasized Tamari in this episode a lot, just her constantly like wanting to stay there but kind of being pulled away by the father. It was an interesting one there, like in that brother sister relationship dynamic between the three of them is good within the show, but we never really got a look at what it was like before. And this is interesting because this is a Gaara flashback prior to the crazy stuff that goes down where he's like super considered a monster by everyone. Here it's just like, okay, he's considered dangerous, but this is before the really, really kind of bad stuff happens. So it's not like super sad, but it definitely emphasizes like some positives, but focuses on a little bit of the negatives for him. It ultimately, I felt, ended a little suddenly in that it didn't really have an overall goal to it, and that like you had this kind of thing of him asking Yashimaru these questions and Yashimaru giving him these specific answers and him being fairly okay with it. I think it was kind of more meant to be like Gaara has some good things going for him, but ultimately the quest that his father basically set out in the village to have him assassinated ultimately kind of ruined all that and turned him into the villain as we're introduced to him in the series that we see him as, but the turn obviously that we now know him as is different. So fun side of the episode, but not amazing. It's probably one of the weaker ones just because it doesn't really seem to have an overall like core to it, like what it was really about. The Shikamaru one I thought was really good though. It's always a tough line when you do Naruto's backstory to kind of have him be friendly with other characters prior to his really strong relationship with Iruka and then his team, Sakura, Sasuke, Kakashi. But I like the way they do Shikamaru and Choji here, in that like they're basically the first two people who really kind of like accept Naruto, that he can actually be, they can actually like hang out with him and it's not some weird thing, that they see past, I suppose, maybe what the adults are saying and see him as someone that they can hang out with and it's cool. I like the moment where they're in class and they see Naruto basically defending Hinata from the bullies, and Shikamaru's kind of like, I can't believe he'd do something like that, because Shikamaru wouldn't stand up like that, it would be too much energy for him. And then Choji, obviously, I think you can tell with Choji that he sort of wishes he could do that sort of stuff, but that's not what he's meant to be, that he feels a little useless, but it's Shikamaru who helps Choji feels like he's worth something, and that's the core of the Shikamaru-Choji relationship. But Choji can see that because he doesn't have a great like opinion of himself, that Naruto is actually worth something as well. The whole chess analogy that they have, like all the pieces are worth something, you said I'm worth something, so that has to mean that Naruto is worth something because look at what he's doing. he's helping Hinata over there where no one else is. Um, so I did like that, and the way they just emphasize that they are the kind of, I wouldn't say troublemakers, but they're the ones who kind of sleep in class and get kind of thrown out together, and just because they all did similar things, they kind of came together. But it was never, until the series as we see it in like part one, it was never like super close. That especially once they got into kind of Genin range, that there was a kind of little bit of distance between them, but that there was a core of that they kind of liked each other there before. I do like them presenting that. The other aspect of this episode was interesting in that you just had them kind of hanging out a little bit more. They played the trick on Haruka with the sexy jutsu and the whole kind of pervert thing. I liked a little moment where, like, Naruto joins in on the little fight that Choji and Shikamaru are having, and then you just get a like 5 second shot, and you stick on Hinata saying something to Haruka, Haruka saying something to Hinata, but we don't see what it is, and it's just this kind of, I think it's what it's meant to be is this moment where they both kind of say something positive about Naruto, and they're both kind of surprised a little bit because they both are, as far as they're aware, don't see Naruto like have good interactions with a lot of people. So I thought that was a fun little thing, just that there was this Haruka Hinata moment, because like Hinata hasn't really interacted with Haruka all that much, and they are two people who are very important to Naruto ultimately as the series progresses. So there's that. Other than that, with these episodes, they are very, very basic. They don't really have like a character development type arc to them. They very much, as I said earlier on, are just a kind of a slice of life of these characters, more emphasizing the kind of positive nature of the past, in that it hasn't been so focused on the like sadness and tragedy, but it's been kind of like there in the background that, look, these characters' lives, we know about their kind of tragic backstories, but it wasn't awful. It didn't like ruin them. That they had good moments too, and we saw that even with Gaara, and we saw that with Naruto here. And that as much as he didn't have a lot of people who super cared for him, he over time had okay relationships with a lot of people, like Shikamaru, Choji, even though it never got like super close to the point where they were like inviting Naruto over to their houses to eat dinner and stuff like that. There was always a little distance between them. There was something there. So I think I'm just going to end it there. I don't really have a lot else to say. Next up is Jiraiya Kakashi. Based on the preview, it looks, at least the Jiraiya side of the episode seems interesting. I'm wondering how they're going to approach doing something different with Obito and Rin in that specific time period, because we've seen a lot of fairly recent in the anime like flashbacks with Obito, Kakashi, Rin. I wonder how they'll take a different angle on that. That's something new, because they all have done something relatively new. But the Jiraiya section, I think, is going to be quite interesting, because we don't know a ton of stuff about his past, really. We know the main bits, but we haven't focused a lot on just like Tsunade, Orochimaru, Jiraiya when they were young. So that could be fun. But yeah, these episodes are fun, but nothing amazing. I think there's nothing objectively bad about them. There's just nothing stunning to them. They just feel fairly kind of low key. I wouldn't say low effort. And I still feel the animation quality is quite good, and they're doing something of note here. It's just, it doesn't feel like there's like a ton going on that like will spark tons of discussion and reveal lots of new things. But yeah, that's the episode. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on this episode, and in general, this series of like half episodes focusing on the characters' pasts. But I'm just going to end it by saying a link to my Twitter and my Tumblr account are in the description below if you want to follow me on social media, and also link to my Patreon page as well as my PayPal donation link, also in the description below if you want to help support my channel so I can make more videos, better videos. But other than that, that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.